Hi, and welcome back to our kitchen. How you doing today? Well, it's that time again. The time when I forget to use my bananas. And I don't know how many times I've had 2 bananas sitting on the counter that nobody eats and they go to waste. Well, I decided today I'm going to make banana bread, not waste the bananas, and I'll give you some tips at the end to freeze bananas, because I just learned something today that I didn't know. Anyhow, first you have 2 bananas. They say 2 or 3. Well, what I like to do is have a cup full of bananas. And I just put them on a paper plate and start mashing them. And they don't have to be really mashed up fine, just as long as you can leave some chunks in there. And they're really easy to mash when they're super ripe like this. I'm going to make this a chocolate banana bread. And I never did a chocolate one before, but we're going to see what happens. And so I take the mashed bananas and I put them in a measuring cup. And like I said, I want 1 cup. We'll see how we do. These bananas were quite big, so we may end up with a cup. Okay, I think we're okay, but still, I want to add some more moisture to the cake, because as you know, gluten-free cakes get dried out very quickly. So I'm going to add, I have these cups of applesauce that the kids are older now, they don't eat them anymore, so I need to use them up. You can do this with peaches too. The little cups with the peaches in it, you can mash the peaches up and use those too, just to add moisture to the cake. And I'm going to be using my big measuring cup due to the fact that I want to dump it into the pan when I make the bread. And first of all, I'm going to put the bananas in there. They slid right out, perfect. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. I'm going to add that in there. Now this is going to be a recipe where I don't bring the beater out. We're just going to stir it, which makes it really simple. No beaters to clean. Okay, here we have 2 eggs, room temperature, that I beat. And I'm going to put those in. And a 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. In my case, this is plant-based country crock butter with olive oil in it. And I'm going to stir that in. Very easy. Okay, now I have the flour. And what I want to do is I want to take the sifter and put that over the bowl. And I've got a 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour here. And this gluten-free flour has xanthan gum in it. If yours does not, you need to add a 1/4 cup. And so I'm going to sprinkle this in, just like this. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And I'm also going to strain that because these do get lumps. There we go. Stir this up a little bit. Here I have sugar. Now today I'm going to use the sugar substitute, monk substitute. And if you don't have that, just use regular granulated white sugar. And then I'm going to add the sugar to it. We're going to stir this up real good, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, this came out pretty stiff, as you can see. What I'm going to do, I think this is from the added cocoa powder. I'm going to add some almond milk to it. Now, of course, if you're not dairy free, you can add regular milk. And I'm going to stir it around till it loosens up a little bit. Yeah, it's loosening up. Yeah, so see, it got to this consistency, which is what I want. I think that was about 1/4 cup of almond milk is all I added to it. Do it a little bit of it at a time. Stir it and make sure that there's not too much in there. If there is, you just add a little bit more gluten-free flour. I've got a loaf pan over here that I sprayed with cooking spray. I'm going to finish stirring this up because now I need to add, these are sugar-free chocolate chips. I have to use them up because, as you know, when you order things on the internet, they don't send you 1 pack, you got to buy 2 packs. So this is going to be, I'm going to say 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. You can add nuts to this if you want. But I think I'm just going to stay with the chocolate theme right now. And add the chocolate chips to it. You can use regular chocolate chips. It doesn't have to be sugar-free. I just happen to have some that I bought for recipes that I was making. And so I'm hoping that I'm keeping this pretty simple for you guys. Now I'm going to pour this into the, let me check to make sure I have it all stirred in. I still have some on the bottom. That's the great part of having glass bowls. You can see the bottom where you maybe had left some flour or sugar in there. Okay, I'm going to dump this in here. Came out to a nice batter after I put the milk in it. I'm going to bake this in a 350 oven for 50 minutes to an hour. Now I would check it at 50 minutes, and you know the thing where you take the toothpick and you stick it in the middle of the cake. If it comes out with wet batter on it, then you know it's not done. Add 5 minutes at a time. Okay, it's ready to rock and roll. I'm going to put it in the oven and we'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, while we're waiting for the bread to be done, I promised you that I would give you some tips on freezing bananas, because with no little kids around, I tend to let them just sit there and then they go bad. But we're going to go over a few tips. If you want to just throw them in the refrigerator or in the freezer by themselves, I would suggest a plastic bag, Ziploc bag, just to keep them together, because I've got bananas in my freezer, I don't even know where they're at. They've sunken into nowhere land. Anyway, you can throw them in there. The skin is going to turn black. That doesn't mean the banana in there is ruined. And when you want them out for, let's say, banana bread, you take them out, thaw them on the counter, skin them, and then you'll have the bananas like we had today. The other tip, you make smoothies. You want to have sliced bananas for your smoothies in the morning. You take bananas that are not too blemished and you slice them. You take a cookie sheet, put some parchment paper on it, put them in the freezer for a couple hours, and then put them in Ziploc bags, and then you'll have it ready for your smoothies. The third thing is the way I let my bananas go, almost too much. And you can mash them for the banana bread, like I did, and just make sure you put them in a plastic bag. Put on the plastic bag how many bananas are in there, and then put them in the freezer. That's it. You take them out, thaw it, you have bananas for whatever you want. I hope that tip helps you. And now we'll just have to wait till the banana bread's done. Okay, it's been in the oven for 50 minutes. I put the toothpick in and it came out clean. So you just need to keep an eye on it. I'm going to try to turn this out onto this plate. Perfect. Now I want to turn it back up. And I'm going to slice it. I hope everybody's safe with the COVID. Get your shots. Okay, I'm going to cut this and taste it. It's still warm, so you want to let it cool all the way until you eat it. But I'm going to taste it for you. And I think it's cool enough to eat. Try it with the chocolate chips. Try it with the chocolate sometime. You can put nuts in it. You can put mashed up peaches instead of bananas. Support my channel. Subscribe. Push that subscribe button down at the bottom. And you can get the recipe in the Show More section. I hope you enjoy. Bye.